Hello, everybody, and welcome to 48-hour art check round 41. 91. Jeez Louise.
41.
I just set us back 50 episodes. Don't even ask me how that happened. I have no idea. Round 91. Holy heck. Nine away from 100. So,
Yeah.
that is exciting. Anyways, without further ado, we'll start with Kiley. Kiley, what have you gotten done since the last art check?
I got caught up on Sunday. I got caught up on my embroidery journal. So I did a few more stitches. I don't have it. Oh. Yeah, no, I don't have it in here with me. But I did some tricky stitches. And so it was fun. I got caught up on that. That's maybe all I've done. I also did reach out to someone looking for a photographer and expert, gave them my prices. They were like, I'm so excited, I'll get back to you, and they haven't. So that's all I've done. Yeah. That's the life.
Nice.
Emily?
I didn't do a crazy ton, but I did do this let's see. This
Cute.
So I did this kind of spur of the moment. It's based off a photograph, so it was super quick because it's all based on reference. But yeah, it's I posted this today, but I made it a couple days ago. I made it over the weekend. I was watching Lord of the Rings, and I just did that at that time. So yeah, and I am I started this. Don't know if I like it, but I started it. Of some lady in the clouds with some flowy dress or something and a big old staff. So see if I keep doing that. And then I worked on this facial expression chart because that's something I want to get better at this year. But I'm not showing it. The official reason why I'm not showing it is because I'm still working on it. But the actual reason is it looks butt ugly. It's really, really, really bad. And so I'm just working on it. And the reason why I keep working on it is because I'm telling myself I'm not going to show anybody this. So it's okay that it looks terrible. Keep going. So yeah, that's what I worked on. Uh-oh. Is she frozen?
No.
Can you hear me?
She is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on because you guys are freezing every so often. So if I freeze, I hope I don't. So I got a bit into my sketchbook. I'm not going to show those. Those are just some crappy little sketches. I did not get as far as I wanted to. It's very hard to fill a full sketchbook within 4 days. So even my professor extended the assignment.
Uh-oh, frozen again.
Spaghetti.
Oh no.
Kayla. That's a funny face.
What's her tongue sticking out? Oh no, she's hardcore frozen. Oh, come on, internet.
Dang it. Is she at her new apartment?
Yeah, I wonder if that place has bad internet.
Yeah.
I know it's a big apartment complex, so I bet there's a lot of people sharing. Oh, I see another screen popping up. She has 2 screens.
Whoa, there she is.
Hello.
You're back.
Yeah, my fiance is using our smart TV right now and using all the Wi-Fi.
Yep, okay.
So I just went out there and told him, I was like, I can't live stream at all. So I'm on my hotspot right now. If I switch, it's because I'm switching back to the other Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry about that. So basically, I wanted to get this whole sketchbook done. I don't know what you guys heard last. I wanted to get this whole sketchbook done. I didn't. I did a few pages. It was insane. Absolutely nobody in our class finished it. Like nobody.
Yeah.
And so we were given until tomorrow night to fill up the sketchbook because like the furthest that anybody got was like maybe 3/4 of a way in, but most people like didn't even get halfway.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still really surprised by that assignment because it's so much. Like, how many days did they give you?
4.
So they handed out a sketchbook and said 4 days from now it's going to be full. That's insane. That's too much.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
This is how it's going to be. Oh, no. Do you think we'll ever get to see what she worked on?
I don't know. Did she say she was going to show us her sketchbook? No, right? She said no.
No.
Oh, here she comes.
There we go. Okay. Okay.
Anyways, this is not the final logo, but we had an hour to make something in class today, so this is something that I made.
That's cool.
I like that.
Thanks.
The hat is really cute.
Thank you. It's for a brand called Drive Suits. I like it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'll talk about challenges. But and I did a video brief, a shot list, and a storyboard.
For what?
For a group project, I hope mine gets chosen for an Apple Watch commercial.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's a 30-second commercial. I think we're getting split up into pairs, but yeah, I put a lot of effort into it, like a lot of effort. So hopefully it gets chosen. I can pull it up while somebody is talking about their challenges. Hopefully my Wi-Fi.
Are you gonna do like a 3D model of an Apple Watch? And like,
No,
you're gonna do like an actual Apple Watch.
it's for a video class.
Oh.
Do you have to like take footage? You can't like animate it. Oh.
Also, I don't want to make. Just because I have that ability doesn't mean I want to use it.
I just figured because you know, like how people say there's like no actual picture of a Apple Watch made by Apple. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
They're all vectors or something.
They're all vector, but like for a video, I assume it's a model, so you can turn it a little bit or something. But
Yeah. So here we go. So it's. I can't draw very well. Please don't judge me, everybody.
oh
Anyways,
my gosh, that's so cute.
That's awesome.
The guy on the treadmill is really cute.
Like,
Thanks.
honestly, way better than me. I cannot draw anyone running or moving or walking at
Oh
all.
my gosh.
I
Sorry, yelled
did.
so loud.
No,
But-
I did my best. I hate his head, but I just gave up. It's also supposed to be a woman, but I just didn't want to deal with hair. So, and then here in the corner, you can start to see I'm adding like little animations. So I am going to go into After Effects. This is going to be like texts. I got sick of drawing a watch, so I just started drawing this band. So yeah, and you can see like I like went all out, like close up, interior shot, morning.
Yeah.
So
That's
Anyways.
so good.
thanks. So I forgot that was art, but yeah, I did that. Oh, and I got a paid photo shoot yesterday.
Well, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I made 125
Nice.
Hey,
for engagement photos.
that's pretty good. I mean, like, that's a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's cheap, but it's not too cheap.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I've gotten
you
paid
could-
for photos in a while. So.
You could
It was
if you wanted.
I actually almost, so it was one of those things where like they messaged me, I don't have set prices yet. But my best friends work at Walmart with this girl, and they said, and she goes, does anybody know like a photographer that I can like reach out to? They're like, yeah, Kayla, she used to work here. Literally, you're friends with her on Facebook. She does them. So she sends me a message, and I was like, oh, like I know for a fact I'd make 100. Like that's super cheap, but I'll just say 125. And there was like no questions asked. It was sure. What's your Venmo? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so anyways, I have to edit all those, but I took them.
That's
And
exciting.
it was very cold.
Mm-hmm. It is January.
I have like a fun topic, I guess, for next time since we're not doing a topic, but I just have a general question for people. Anyways,
What's the question?
Write
now?
it down so you don't forget.
Yeah.
I can ask it at the end if you guys like don't need to run, but
Okay.
it's
I might have to run because I have to call my brother back.
Yeah, it's just about like photo shoots. Like, is there like any like weird thing that only you do whenever you're about to illustrate or like go on a photo shoot or anything? Like, is there something that you specifically do that nobody else does? Anyways,
Like,
yeah.
Hmm.
Did she freeze?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in prep or on the actual thing or something. I don't know. I'll add an example at the end if Kylie needs to leave.
Okay.
She's on. But if we get through challenges and stuff fast, she can probably stay for a little bit. Okay.
I'll let that sit on my brain.
Challenges. We started with Kylie. So Kylie, what's up?
I have just been. It's just like I'm at work, and then when I'm done with work, I don't want to do anything. Like embroidery is not a huge deal, like it, because it doesn't feel like work. It's like something I can do while watching a TV show or something, which I could do that with other art, like illustration, but also okay, yeah. So embroidery is like okay, but most of the other stuff, like I don't want to like push myself to do anything related to my business or like art or anything, and if I do, it's like iPad, like illustrations is what I would do because it's like too cold to go out with my camera. And my iPad still has the cracked screen, and it like even like has like if I put my finger on the spot where there's the crack, like I could like get glass bits like off because they like all these cracks like kind of go in one spot,
Oh.
So I don't want to like bring it to get fixed because I don't want to say goodbye to it for a couple weeks to be like sent off to Apple and come back. But at the same time, like I don't get anything done because it's like broken, and so it's hard to like draw on it when like the screen is like cracked. So I'm kind of like at a standstill, and also because like,
I would send it
doesn't work. So once I send off my iPad, I'm just like only have my phone for like a few weeks. So that's kind of like probably the biggest challenge is like I just feel like I really just need to get my iPad fixed, but I'm also like not wanting to like switch and just like send it out, but I really need to. That's what I need to do.
If you ever need to use Adobe, I have a desktop and a whole office that you are more than welcome to use.
I actually need to talk to you about that because I have a desktop Mac that I bought on Facebook Marketplace, and I haven't ever used it. Like, because I got it and because it's like an older version, but I don't have a keyboard or mouse for it yet. And so I can't like actually like turn it on really. Like I can turn it on, but I can't type in the password or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to figure out how to make it useful to me. And so I want to talk to you guys about it later. But anyway, those are my challenges.
Emily?
Not like crazy challenges. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I've been working on something that's not visual, and so like I did that for like 5 hours today. So like that's why I didn't draw anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Life went crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Y'all have gotten text updates.
Yeah.
Yeah, my job went from like this really sweet gig to
You need to rhyme it from sweet, like, you know, like 0 to
To
hero.
a big, dark
Pig. To
big dig. Is what Kylie said. Big dark dig. No, it was I don't know. I'll look up what rooms are with gigs while I talk. Y'all have me so distracted.
Sweet gig to
the hellish, devilish jig.
jig.
There's
Gig
twigs.
to stupid twig. Sweet gig
Yeah.
to stupid twig.
Yeah, there we go. And okay, I don't want to talk about bad about the company. I don't want to talk about bad about anybody. I think that they run a company the way that they want to. However,
but it's been a challenge.
However, it is no longer the job I was hired to do,
which is stupid.
And so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep it. I think my boss is super nice, and he's a great guy. And I honestly love working for him, but it's no longer, and I'm qualified to do the job still, you know.
Can I offer an opinion to you?
Yeah.
Without, you know, throwing people, well, it's a little bit, but, bless you, Kylie. You're going to sneeze, right?
I don't know if it's going to come. I hate my nose. Go ahead. Offer me.
So, a nice boss is great, but if a nice boss can't stick up for their coworkers, then it is for naught.
Mm-hmm.
So if a boss is supposed to fight specific battles for you that you shouldn't have to, that's over your head, right? Their job is to deal with that. And if they're not dealing with that appropriately, it doesn't really matter if they're nice, because you have been affected poorly because of
it's one of those things where like somebody gets something great and there's another side to it, and that other side is that I got kicked, pretty much is the way to put it. That's not like talking anybody down. The person that, you know, got the great thing, great person, I think that they are very successful. Great. Yeah, they're very great. And I'm just trying to keep it like really, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it is like sometimes somebody higher up needs to be held to a certain level of accountability or kept in line, or just be like, hey, you said this, you need to follow through on this, right? And that's not your job to do that. That's your boss's job to do that. And even if it is to somebody higher up than they are. And my boss in the past has been able to be like, hey, you can't do this, you know? And it was great because then I was able to effectively do my job.
So just like to put it in like layman's terms, I was an equal with somebody. The CEO came in, absorbed my job into my equal's job, and made me a subordinate. And then didn't tell me. So I showed up, and
which is like, that's what happens in companies, like sometimes, but when it's like right after you got hired for a specific job and you accepted this job because it was going to be X job, like there's a difference between like years after you've been with the company and after observing the work, like that happens, to like you just got hired and accepted X, and then they're like, ooh,
and they pull the rug out.
JK, here's why, you know?
Yeah.
So you're valid in your feelings.
So I've been like back and forth on quitting. We don't need the money, but it's nice money, and like I just don't want to burn any bridges. I talked to my mentor about it too, and he was like, talk to your boss. The issue is that the person that I have become subordinate to is now my boss, and I need to talk to the boss that hired me and not my new boss, and
I mean, go talk to them.
Mhm.
They hired
it just
you.
makes me want to hit my head on a wall.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, there's certain bridges that it's not like burnt or not burnt, or burnt or like it's a positive experience. Like, you can leave a negative experience without having like cussed them out and stormed out and walked out. You can, under a professional setting, say, hey, I would love to work with you in the future, but it's not working out for me because of this. And you're still available to them in the situation that, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't let that like dictate whether or not you leave a job.
Like when I left a job that wasn't a good situation for me, it was before I told them I'd work for them for 2 years, and I had only worked for them for 1 year. And I put in my 2 weeks, and they were I put in my 2 weeks to the CEO. He behaved pretty actually unprofessionally afterwards, because he asked why, and it was health reasons, and he like inquired about my health reasons, which he isn't supposed to do. But I like was really like, when I put in my 2 weeks, I was like, I can definitely like give recommendations like for like people to fill my job, you know, like you can do it in a very professional way, especially where you have a very like valid reason, like, hey, or I would definitely talk to the person first and be like, look, this isn't the job I like accepted, and I don't know that I want to stay with it. I just want to like bring this up with you and see if anything can be done. And then if they're like, yeah, sorry, nothing can be done, I would just like put in your 2 weeks or whatever, and just be like, okay, I'm like respectfully submitting my 2 weeks, and like I wish you well, but like it's just not like what the job I signed up for. And that's totally 100% professional and reasonable. So
Puppers?
Oh,
baby dog?
So,
but yeah, there's definitely like a professional way to
I
like,
was listening. I hope that you know that. I really was.
Totally.
No, yeah, you're right. There's a professional way to go about it, and I do want to go about it that way. And I think my main thing is also, hi Ronnie. My main thing is I don't like quitting, and I have never been the person to not have a job. And so now I'm going to be the person without a job.
Between jobs.
Yeah, that's true. And like the thing is like, I'm not necessarily going to, like, if I quit, I'm most likely going to quit. If that happens though, like I'm going to focus on school and like throw myself into school. Like I'm going to do my 18 days of something. I'm going to get ahead on 462. I'm going to like turn in all this. Like I'm going to throw myself completely into school. And so I don't know. There's a lot of, anyways, that's my challenge, is that situation has depressed me, and I went home from work on Friday and cried for a while, and
you shouldn't
now
have to cry because of your job.
I know.
You shouldn't have to, other than temporary stress, which could get outside of work, that should not be a part of having a job.
Yeah.
So
I know. And I think I might just be like, hey, you used to like give all of your graphics out to Alpha Graphics. I would love to be contracted to be your graphic designer. But as far as the marketing team goes, this just
wasn't what I asked for, wasn't what I thought I would get.
Well, because now I'm like the blog writer.
That's really like not what you signed up for.
And also, sorry, this is the last thing I'll say, but
no,
also,
you're good.
like,
I need this advice. I just get nervous.
Make it be your internship, and you had specific things in mind that you wanted in an internship. If this isn't like, no, like, you know, like you can be like, okay, well, I wanted to also include this as my internship. This is not the internship proposal I wrote up. Like, there are just so so many reasons like that you can bring up. I would definitely bring it up with that boss that hired you 1st and just be like, look, unless there's a change, like, can there be a change made? If not, I understand, but I can't like keep going, and just like give them a heads up and like explain how you're feeling, and they'll probably be like, I totally get you, and then either there's nothing I can do or let's see what we can do, so
Yeah.
it's a challenge. I'm really sorry you're going through this, but like, we believe in you. We're here for
Yeah.
you.
And you deserve good stuff. Happy job.
And like, I don't know. Like I said, it's just so I am a blog writer / I design graphics sometimes. And so yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's in the office.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be like, hey, I really need to talk to you specifically. But yeah, so I might not have a job anymore, which honestly would not necessarily be the worst thing because I could focus on school and art.
Yeah.
And I really want to do that. So yeah, so there's like 10 minutes about my challenges, and thank you everybody for the advice, and I really hope I did not come across disrespectful to my employer.
It's okay. Kylie and I just can't leave this stuff. We're like, we gotta tell you all the stuffs. Okay.
I know, and I appreciate it. I just have a fear of being live and talking about this.
That's okay. Except one time I was like just talking on this, and then the next day I was at Walmart and I ran into James Brognan. Like, this was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like talking about Artcheck. He's like, yeah, I might have been watching. I may or may not have been watching. I was like, what did I say on Artcheck? I got really nervous. I was like, he was watching, because I can't see anyone watching. Like,
oh yeah.
So I'm just like, I just assume no, like, I don't see any, like, this many people are watching. So I'm like, oh yeah, no one's watching.
No, I was in class, right before the semester started, we did an art check, and I was talking about 316. And I was in class, and the professor that teaches my class goes, I watched Artcheck. And I said, why? And he said, because X told me to. Cole told him to. And I said, if we can't be friends on Facebook, you can't watch my YouTube. That's it. So literally, I just like, I had like panic, not even internal, like panic off. I was like, what did we say? Yep. Which is fine. I love it when they watch. I think it's fantastic because this whole thing was inspired by Corey Kerr. He's the reason that we do it.
Is he teaching the one teaching the new class? No, okay.
He told the one teaching the new class to go watch. Because I guess he watches them. Anyways, hello, Kerr. And yeah, that was a super uncomfortable, panicky moment for me. I was like, why? You literally never. This person has checked my social media once, and this is the second time. And the first time was because I was in the ER, so he checked my Instagram story to make sure I was okay. That's it. Anyways, yeah, people watch it. Ronnie's watching it right now. We're just on a long tangent, but also he's with us all the time, so he knows.
I know. He knows what we do. Yeah.
And he still chimes in anyway. Speaking of Ronnie, link in bio to go support him. Or in bio. Description below. Down there.
Yeah. But yeah, this is an Instagram. Say down below. That's what they say on the tube.
Down below.
Down below.
Down there. Anyways, next art check will be Thursday.
Oh. This always throws me off.
I'm going to say what I'll do, and then I actually have to go because my brother's in Virginia, and so I have to call him before he goes.
You're good.
Yeah.
You know what?
Advice.
We just we just like it whenever you get to join us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being here, and I'm here more often now, which is good because I put it in my calendar.
Same.
Yeah,
and that's how we've been doing it.
It's a helpful thing. So, by next art check, I maybe will drop my iPad off to go have the screen fixed. So I no longer have an excuse to not work on some of the things I've been wanting to work on. That's like my main thing, and also catch up on my embroidery journal. And potentially plan a weekend trip to Utah to meet up with one of my really good friends, Kayla, different Kayla, that's also a friend. And she's a phenomenal photographer and a really close friend of mine. And so she lives in Utah.
Is your last name Takeo?
No, but
okay.
It's
Kayla Takeo's also very talented.
It's Tagalog.
Sorry.
I can never pronounce her last name, but it's Tagalog or something. She's amazing, and I love her. And
Look her up.
I've been talking to her about how I want to come down and like, here, I can show you.
I feel like I know that name.
She's really talented. Like, this is a photo she's done.
Whoa.
This is a photo she's done. She's really, really, really
Tagalog? Tagalog?
Yeah, that's her.
I'm going to follow her.
Yeah, she's really talented, really good friend of mine. And so I've been messaging her, and I want to go to Utah and like plan a weekend where I can go, and we could either go to the salt flats or like maybe some cool rock formations or like somewhere cool and scenic and do like a really cool shoot where she'll model for me and I'll model for her. And it would be really fun. She also has been shooting Sony mirrorless for a while, and so she's really good with the mirrorless stuff. So it would be very fun. So hopefully drop off my iPad, catch up on embroidery, and plan a date that I can go to Utah and do like a shoot with Kayla. So yeah. And I'm really sorry that I have to hop off.
Nope, you're good.
It's okay.
Bye.
Love you guys. It was good being here.
Love you too.
Bye.
Emily, Thursday.
I don't know. I hate this question on Tuesdays.
Okay, you think about it. I'll share mine.
No. Okay, yeah,
okay.
You go.
Okay, I was like, I have mine. I have to finish the sketchbook. My 24 days of something start, or my 18 days of something starts. So I already have Wednesday's posts done or Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So I'm either gonna like have posted my first day or be on day 2. And then I have to edit all those photos from a photo shoot.
Nice.
Oh, and then I have to edit my engagement photos that got taken today, and I have to make a wedding invite. I have a lot.
Hey, you have to edit your own photos?
Yeah, so they were free.
Okay.
So, okay, no, listen.
Okay.
My friend knows like a lot about angles and everything. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have a camera. She took the pictures on the save the date. That turned out fantastic, you know? Mm-hmm. So I asked, hey, if I give you my camera, will you take our engagement pictures? So I set up the light settings, taught her how to use the camera. She came out with us to Idaho Falls, takes all the pictures, and then I edit them.
Okay.
And it's free, so you really can't talk me out of that one.
Okay.
You know how expensive engagement photos are up here?
Yeah, I've been engaged.
Yeah.
I
love Kiley. I wanted to pay Kiley so bad, but I don't have the money.
I paid like $1,700 or something like that for my wedding photos, and that was cheap.
I'm paying $890, and Doug is doing the photos and video.
Maybe I only paid $700. Maybe I didn't pay almost $2,000. Maybe I paid almost $1,000. I don't know. I paid a lot. I don't remember.
But anyway, so all of those things.
Doug, I'm really jealous, by the way. He does amazing wedding photography.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. You're the reason that I reached out to him. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you told me to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see his stuff all the time. It looks
Doug's the freaking best. By the way.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Okay, anyways.
Oh, no. He has you fill out this whole like question, like tell me about your story. Let me know about you guys as a couple. Give me a schedule of your whole day. And basically you fill out this thing, you give him a schedule, and he says, you give me the schedule, you tell me where to go, you tell me what time I'm supposed to be places, you don't worry about anything else.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was like I hired her for like 3 hours.
Nope, he's going to be there he's going to do bridals. And this is a 2-day thing. He's going to do bridals, take pictures of people at the ceiling, like once we get out of the temple. And then the next day, he's going to be at the reception and take videos and pictures.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Doug is fantastic.
He's the freaking best. We should have him on this show. I love him.
Douglas Phan, Phan. Look him up. He's fantastic and super talented. I'm genuinely jealous of his skills.
He's the golden boy of our department. Like, and he came back from his mission and he was still a golden boy. Like, he can do no wrong.
Nope.
Yeah. We should have him on this show because he's amazing and I kind of miss him. So, yeah.
You can reach out to him, ask him if he wants to.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are you going to get done by Thursday now that you've had time to think about it?
Okay. I don't know.
Are you going to finish that sketch of the girl in the clouds?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's say I'm going to do that. And if I don't do that, I want to do something else. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I have this question, and you said that you were going to think about it, so I assume that means we can talk about it. What do you do that's specific to you? And this is super broad, and so I'm going to give my example. So,
okay. Yeah, because I can only think of small things.
No, and this is a small thing. So, like, I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer since I was like a junior in high school, senior in high school. I don't know. Anyways, never been like avidly, but I just do it for friends and people and whatnot. Well, one thing that I always do is I have to wear a hat on photo shoots because I have astigmatisms in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the light like hurts my eyes way more. And I can't wear sunglasses.
Because you're taking photos, you don't want to mess up the color. Yeah.
Exactly. So I have to wear a hat so this way I can put the hat over like the viewfinder.
Yeah.
And so I have to wear a baseball cap because it blocks the light from getting into my eyes and hurting me.
That's honestly so smart.
Yeah. And so every time I go out on a photo shoot, I'm wearing a hat. The only reason I'm not wearing a hat is when I'm like out with friends and we're like switching cameras back and forth. But that's always a pain because I wind up wearing my sunglasses half the time and it's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have to wear a hat. And this came to me because I went out on my photo shoot yesterday and I was like going through my checklist and I didn't realize that this was part of my like checklist of stuff that I have to do. You know, and it's just like one like weird thing that I've done to adapt to like what I need to do type of thing, you know? And so I just feel like people like you have to do things that just make sense to you. You know, and whenever other people see them, they're like, oh, why do you have to wear a hat? You know, but then like once I explain it, it's like, oh, like that makes sense, you know, because you can't wear sunglasses when you're taking pictures. No. Everything's going to be messed up. And so, yeah, so I have to wear like a baseball cap. And I specifically have like baseball caps and snapbacks. And I always wear a baseball cap because it's curved.
It curves.
And so it curves around the viewfinder.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so smart. I feel like, because like I squint really hard when I'm taking photos. So I wonder if that would, I mean, I barely take photos. So, you know,
yeah,
I won't know for a long time, but if that one fixed that, that'd be cool.
It's a genius little life hack I made myself.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. My thing that I could think of was that like when I do sketches on top of each other. Like,
oh.
And I do like 6 sketches on top of each other until it's like where I want it to be. So like an artist that if you wanted to do that traditionally, you'd need like a light box underneath to like trace or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's like common with digital art or not, but
yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I like do like here. Let's look at something. I mean, you could see it with the work I did before. Let's pull up something.
So when you sketch traditionally, do you use a pencil or a pen?
I like don't sketch traditionally, but I use a pencil.
Okay.
So like if I look at actually this one's easier.
Also, Ronnie, I think somebody's watching. If it's Ronnie still, hello. Do you have anything particular that you do like this, like whenever you're drawing your comics or anything like that? Like, do you have something just like particular that other people might do it, but like it's something that you have to do? Anybody watching, comment it. If you're watching it back, just throw it in the comments on the video, just because I'm curious.
I thought this particular piece would be a good example, and it totally wasn't. But like I just have like sketches on top of each other, and then I like lower the opacity so that like the sketch that's the most recent or the best, like that's what I'm going off of, and like that's the least lowered. Anyways,
okay,
that's something I do.
It makes sense. Yeah, I know. And like, I mean, this wasn't like a planned topic or anything, so it wasn't gonna ever be anything super long. But I was just thinking about it because that's what I did yesterday. Is I like got ready and I threw on a hat. He said he has to listen to music.
That's like homework for me sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't.
What type of music? What type of music? Is it classical music?
No, I'm not a nerd like my husband.
Okay, Ronnie, what type of music? I cannot do music to classical music. I can't do homework or art or anything to classical music. I need something with words in the background, because when I'm listening to songs with words and I know the words, so it has to be like a playlist I know like super well, but I know really the words. And then I like it literally channels the ADHD part of my brain into the song, and then the rest of my brain is focusing on like the art.
Is that crazy? Like one that's like busy and wants to do all this stuff is distracted, while the one that wants to focus can focus. That's funny. I today I listened to Minecraft, the Minecraft soundtrack for 5 hours. Wow. But that's because I was doing stuff with like words, and so I can't. If I'm writing or reading and I'm listening to stuff with words, I usually have to pause it. So like if I'm writing an email at work, sometimes I have to pause, especially if I'm listening to a podcast. I listen to a ton of podcasts when I'm at work, but not really when I'm drawing because I'm bored at work. And so I'm trying to save the podcasts for when I'm at work, so I'm not bored. Wow. Tim like only listens to like classical.
I can't. We were in class today. Okay, this 1.5 hour long class. We get an hour. I showed my jazz and blues guitar. Yeah, I'm going 50s music. Like I'm singing Jailhouse Rock.
Really?
Or like I know my music taste does not represent my personality at all. But
yeah, I really am surprised by that.
Yeah. Oh no, 50 Johnny Be Good, Roll Over Beethoven, all the Rockin' Robin, all of it. I love it all. Anyways, 50s music. I'll jam out to my 50s music and I'll be working on homework or Panic at the Disco, all the stuff that you
Panic at the Disco, obvious. Like that was like you said that and I was like, okay, that I understand. That's the Kayla I understand. I didn't even know that you listened to but I just assumed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My little sister loves Panic at the Disco. And
I like Panic at the Disco. Anyways, like Maroon 5, all of the songs that are like upbeat and have words, they are playing whenever if I need to be like 1000% focused on one thing, sometimes I'll have to pause it. But nope, I can't. We were listening to music in class today that my professor put on. And it was like not quite classical music, but it was like slow, jazzy, classical music. And I didn't have my headphones. Yeah, I was totally distracted. I didn't have my headphones. And this girl next to me, it's a class of 6 girls and a male professor, and that's it. That's all that's in the class. This girl next to me goes, "This is driving me nuts," and pulls out her headphones and sticks them in. It cracks me up. Anyways, no, and some people just can't do music at all, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I've like
Silence
started
drives me
listening
nuts.
to music like again recently because Spotify keeps playing the same stuff that I've listened to since high school and it's driving me nuts. And so I started listening to music again, but like tentatively and with like specific stuff.
The chat is having fun with this. So,
Yeah, everybody's talking about music.
yeah, so like a mix of rock and classical music, like Lindsey Sterling. I do like Lindsey Sterling. I think my thing is like, you don't know, do you know Lindsey Sterling?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't listen to it?
Do it.
Well, I like, it's one of those things where like, if it's like complete like background music, like maybe I enjoy it. And if I'm going to sit there, like, I'm like, oh, I want to listen to Lindsey Sterling. That's different. But like, if the music is just melodies in the background and there's no words, I get so distracted, which is complete opposite from every single person that I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, and then an eclectic selection of music: 50s rocks, 80s ballads, metal, show tunes, etc. Yep, I got Broadway playlist. I have 2000s. I have my like Queen, AC/DC, Beach Boys,
I'm
all
an
that
outlier
stuff.
here. Like I like that music, but I have to be in a really specific mood, or
Really?
like sometimes I like ride this wave of a specific kind of music. So like,
What are you into right now?
well, like general music. There's like what?
The Minecraft theme music.
Yeah, that's what I listen to. Okay, but have you played Minecraft? It's amazing.
Oh, I have. I play it with
That
my
music
fiance.
is so like what they don't play it all the time. Sometimes it's just dead silence. But then this wonderful, slightly techno-y plus piano music that makes me feel so good and warm inside. But it's cute. Anyways, listen to a ton of that. The like music, and it changes what kind of biome you're in. Like if you're in the nether, it's like creepier, and if you're in the ocean, it's like this beautiful.
Interesting.
It's the best. Anyways, I was listening to all of the Minecraft music today because I was typing stuff and I didn't want words because I had like stuff on in the background and it was bothering me. But like when I'm designing, I can listen to whatever I want to. Like I'll listen to podcasts. It's not like that's distracting me, you know? So like I can listen to like full on conversations. So like music with words, it's like somewhere in between Minecraft and podcasts. But like I listen to like indie stuff. Like I don't know if you would know any of the bands. I don't know if anybody in chat would know any of the bands. Like
I mean, Ronnie's cheering you on right now.
I think that means Queen, like the band. Like, yes, I also like Queen, which is what you said.
He was calling you a queen.
Not like Yas Queen, but like
Queen. Either way, I mean that's what Queen is supposed to be.
But like
that's the point of the band. Have you not seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
I haven't. I didn't watch it because I thought Tim would be bored, so I never asked him if he wanted to watch it.
You're coming over and we're gonna watch it. I love it. Okay. I listen to pretty much everything. I used to be in a lot of musicals. I love show tunes, etc. Yeah. The only music I don't listen to is if they scream at me.
I used to listen to music like that in high school. So like every now and then when I feel nostalgic.
Yeah, I'll listen to some rap. I will listen to some Spanish music. I will listen to. It just depends. It's different for like what.
This is interesting. I don't write the lyrics, but in a podcast, if I'm typing an email, sometimes I'll write the wrong word because they said it. But I've never had that problem happen with music. Go Queen! Now I can't remember what he queened me for.
Queen the band, but he did say go Queen. So yeah. Queen talking about you. So yeah, well, Queen the band is fantastic.
Well, yeah, of course.
In the chat, have you guys seen Bohemian Rhapsody?
Anyways, I don't doubt that it must be amazing because also Queen is amazing and like super wonderful. But yeah, I haven't seen it.
My favorite thing to do used to be, I don't do it anymore, and it sucks. It's like one of those things like I genuinely miss doing. Um, but and this is why I started my own 48-hour art check. So I would watch Kerr's 48-hour art check every Monday, Wednesday. I was there, I was listening, I was in the chat, and I would put it on like my phone or something, and then I would work. And every so often I would, something would catch my attention particularly, and I'd, write a comment or whatever. But it was like I could listen to people talking about art, and that made me more motivated to do art. And I just don't watch his stuff anymore, and it's just like I've gotten so busy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing. Like I would listen to like 48-hour art check podcasts. Like there was one time I had to be on a plane for a few hours, and they have their podcast on Spotify. And
They do?
wanted
What?
some of their 48-hour art check is on Spotify. And anyway, so I put it on.
That knocks down a barrier for me to listen to it more. So
Tarako Creative Cast. What is that? What is Tarako? Do you listen to the Tarako Creative? I don't. What is that?
I don't actually listen to a lot of like creative people podcasts, like because it causes this like stressor of like while I'm making art, I'm like I'm not making enough art, or while I'm making art, I'm like I need to stop and rethink my entire life or stuff like that. And so like
when I stopped listening to Artcheck is when I started to rethink my entire life, and then we stopped doing Artcheck so often because I was
stresses me out.
I
to be like,
you and
this
I
career is not what I want it to be. Blah blah blah.
You and I are so opposite. It's hilarious. I love this show because you and I are and Kiley's somewhere in the middle on everything, and so it's just so flipped. But yeah, Frank, what is the Tarako? Oh, that's his show. Oh,
what?
That's awesome. I knew he had one. I know he had one.
I didn't even know. That's so cool.
I think I am subscribed. Now I'm concerned that I'm not.
The podcast that I listen to, I listen to true crime. I love listening to true crime while I'm at work. Listening to people get murdered and stuff and solve murder mysteries.
See, if I put on any Ronnie was a guest for the Halloween episode. It was fun. I would love to just do an art check. I would love to do an art check where like we just like throw the link in the chat, and then whoever's in the chat just hop on with us and we talk about whatever. I don't know. Anybody has any topic ideas, post them and we will get that done because that would be really fun.
That'd be fun.
But no, I totally like there was one time where I just downloaded the 48-hour art check podcast and I didn't download any music. I literally told myself, you are going to be productive and that is your only option on the plane. You either get to sketch and listen to 48-hour art check or you get to sleep. And that's it. But no, anytime I turn on like true crime or like I'm super into cop stuff. Mm-hmm. Emily knows my dream job. Like
that's right, yeah. We're like at one point, like I should just quit and become a cop, and I was like, what?
Yeah, my dream job actually is not to be a graphic designer. It is to be a cop, like a detective. I think I'd be really good at it. But my mental health.
Why don't you listen to true crime?
I do. I watch all the shows and I read the books. I don't necessarily listen to true crime. I get too distracted.
You need to listen
to I want to do.
You need to listen to Crime Junkie. It's so good.
I will.
It's so good. It's pretty peak like storytelling in the genre of true crime because there's like somebody there to react to like when she says something crazy. She's so good. Anyways, it's so good. And it's always like they tell stories about like not just like classic. There's like types of stories that get a lot of fame, and then there's lots of people where their stories like slip through the cracks, you know, and then nobody ever solves their murder. So yeah, she like highlights the less common stuff. I don't know, or just the stuff you wouldn't think of. So yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
So you know how like whenever you're listening to 48 Hour Artcheck and it makes you question your whole life?
Yeah.
Anytime
Yes,
I
I do.
listen to true crime stuff is when I'm like, why am I doing this?
You're
Why am
like,
I an
I want to be
artist?
a cop.
Yeah.
You should listen to Anatomy of Murder, because it's the two hosts is one is a prosecutor and one is a former cop / like journalist. So they're speaking from perspective, but there was another podcast where there were people who worked on it and it was just too detailed. It was too much for me and I'm okay with like gore and stuff, but it was like, this is too detailed and sad and terrible.
If you could do me a favor and text me the names of all these podcasts
Yes.
that you're saying.
Yes.
But yeah, I almost became a lawyer.
Ooh.
The only reason I am not going to law school is spite.
What?
Actually, no. I have considered law school on and off. Part of the reason I'm not going is spite. The other part is I don't want to do school. Screw that.
Know that.
No, my parents growing up kept on telling me that I needed to become a lawyer, and it made me hate the concept of being a lawyer. I am a spiteful human. But yeah, no, if I could just drop out of college and become a cop, I hate that that's a controversial thing to say, and I need everybody to know that this is not portraying my political. Emily can attest for me, this is not portraying my political views.
I know. Yeah.
I'm not. Whatever bad
Whatever you think it is, it's not that. I'm not that.
whatever bad connotation you have around, I'm not. No. I hate that that's a political thing to say. I never tell anybody about it because like everybody gets so pissed at me. But
Yeah.
no, like I just feel like I would be a good detective and I would really make some serious change in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with my art, I can't make as much change in the world as I could as a cop. And I could catch bad guys and I would just have like the time of my life. I literally like have dreams about being a cop.
You should definitely listen to Crime Junkie, because they're creative people. They're podcasters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all they are. They're podcasters, and they produce podcasts and stuff. But they actually like have a serious impact within the world of crime, you know? Like because their podcast is really big, they're able to like make huge donations to like or organizations that help and stuff. Like there's this stuff you don't know that you can do as a creative, because
That's
like
true.
people usually think, oh, I can't actually do anything, I'm just drawing stupid pictures or whatever. But like if you're successful, there's lots of things that open up to you that you can do to.
If CIs were like real, not even CIs, that's a confidential informant. If like, what's a good word? Like when you watch White Collar and there's
Mhm.
Neil Caffrey and like Castle, Sherlock, all them.
Mm-hmm.
If I could do that, because I mentally cannot pass. I have PTSD.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure that PTSD mixed with depression and anxiety and all that stuff, I would never come close.
I did an absurd amount of PTSD research yesterday. Like 3 hours. I
Why?
just fell in a rabbit hole. I fell. Yeah.
May I ask why? You were just like curious?
It's a
Or?
secret project.
Oh.
But I fell down a rabbit hole. Like hardcore. Like I listened to some podcasts about it and then I was still confused. And so I found this YouTuber who like only talks about her PTSD, and then I got a better grip about it. I like read a ton of stuff.
PTSD is different for everybody is the interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
did you find stuff that wasn't just about like PTSD for like war soldiers?
Yes,
Okay.
because I was like, there's an absurd amount of that, and that wasn't what I was looking for. Yeah, it threw me through a loop. I listened to this podcast that was about mental health, how it's portrayed in movies or like Hollywood and stuff. And the movie that they touched on was like, so it was like an actual like psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever. And so they could like rate, like, did they do a good job of actually portraying how this works? And the movie that they did was Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I watched that, and I think I read half of it, and it was really sad, and so I stopped. But
if you want a movie, okay, I'm discussing this. It is Marvel, but Iron Man 3 is my favorite Marvel movie, hands down. I love Iron Man. The reason Iron Man 3 is my favorite is because in that movie, he has a mild case of PTSD.
Yeah.
And the way that they portray it is not the, how am I going to put this lightly, BS that Hollywood tries to portray it as.
What's the BS? Can you tell me what the BS is?
Everybody, welcome to 48-hour Artcheck After Hours.
I'm still down that rabbit hole of like I stopped yesterday because I was making dinner, not because I stopped. You know what I mean? What's the BS?
Oh wait, shoot, 1 second. If you want to dip out right now, that is completely fine. This is not art related topic. If you want to find my stuff, go to @thecomeback_KLD. It will look like the Comeback Kid. It is not. My website is currently down, completely down.
So don't go there.
Don't go there. I'm slowly going through like a last name shift. I'm trying to do it all before I get married, so I don't have to worry about it my last semester. So it's the same initials and everything, but my website is not the correct website. So you're going to click on the link tree. It'll take you to everything that is correct, except for the part that says my portfolio. If you want to find Emily's stuff, go to @Gumminelli. If you look up Gumminelli on Google, everything that says Gumminelli is hers. Everything that does not say Gumminelli is not hers. There are no added underscores or anything weird, no added numbers. It's just Gumminelli. If you go to somewhere like Twitch and you type in Gumminelli, you will learn that she is not there. That does not mean she has a secret account. Just means she isn't there. If you want to find my stuff, go to Kiley. If you want to find Kylie stuff, I'm just going. If you want to find Kylie stuff, go to @KyleyLee.creative. She has multiple Instagram accounts, but I'm like closing my eyes to try and remember. She has multiple Instagram accounts, but this is where you will find all of her creative stuff. This is where she posts her illustrations, her photography, everything awesome that Kylie does goes to here. Last I heard, she was considering combining some of the accounts. I don't know, but right now, here's what I was told to send you to. There are also links down in the description below of stuff for Kylie. If you want to find Frank's stuff, because Frank is in the chat, go to Salazar Art Nation. He does his own show called the Tarako Crew, the Tarako Creative Cast. And then if you want to find Ronnie's stuff, we do have his information in the description below to support his Ko-fi link. Ko-fi, it looks like Ko-fi, but it's actually coffee. Because right now he's working on a 12-month of horror holiday calendar, and we think it's super cool, so we want to send people his way. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Oh, geez Louise. Okay. That is getting longer every single time.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hit all the buttons.
Comment, subscribe, hit all the buttons. You can like or dislike. It does not matter. It helps us anyways. 48-hour Artcheck After Hours. Hi, I have PTSD. I have complex PTSD. I was exposed to trauma for 8 years, never ending. And so that's a lot of information for everybody. But hello. So I'm the resident PTSD expert right now, I guess.
You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to, but I want to know what stuff that Hollywood does that's stupid.
In my personal, so whenever you watch something and people are like, oh, I have PTSD, and they're like sitting there or whatever, and then and I've talked to other people about this too. I'm not in like PTSD support groups or anything. I just know some people and I see some stuff online and everything. What Hollywood does is they portray like you can't see anything else except for like a
Okay.
traumatic part of your life, and that's all that you can see, and you can't see anything around you. And that might happen for some people, possibly. Majority of people, that is complete BS. You will feel it in a part of your body. And your so the way that PTSD works, I actually have a speech on this. I just need to send it to you because it's on my other YouTube channel. Yeah,
Can
go
I
ahead.
interject and ask a question? So,
Yeah, so what's up?
this girl that I found, she was like, "Oh, season 2 of Stranger Things. Did you ever watch Stranger Things?
It freaks me out too much.
Do you know what the Upside Down is?
Mm-hmm.
You know the like spoilers. Do you know what happens at the end or like anything that happens?
I mean, doesn't Elle die? This is spoilers.
No, she doesn't. So, or I guess at the end of season 1, you think she does.
They think she does, but she doesn't because she winds up living with the cop guy.
Yeah. So the kid gets trapped in the Upside Down.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 2, so they save him at the end of season 1. Season 2, he's back, not in the Upside Down, and he's struggling, and he has PTSD. And like the girl I was watching said it was like a wonderful portrayal because they were like, like the 90s, like you put a little paper disc in, it's got little pictures, and when you hold it up to the light, it shows stuff. And he's like, it's like that, but when it gets stuck and you're looking at 2 pictures at the same time, and one is the Upside Down and one is real life. So I'm stuck in the 2 worlds all the time. And so my perception now of what PTSD is you constantly have, or at times constantly have, this thing running over and over and over in the back of your head while life is happening. And so sometimes there's sensory overload, or obviously you have to relive something traumatic, and so like you're not happy. So the
reason I'm calling Hollywood out on the BS is because they don't portray it like that. They portray it as nothing else happens, you completely shut down, and you're just back there. You're not physically back there. Like you can still see around you. And all that stuff. So
go through like the same emotions.
Yeah, you go through the same emotions and the same like attributes. So when I first left my home, I was 18, and like I moved in with this family, and God bless them, because I was having PTSD attacks 2 or 3 times a week. I was freaked out every single day, because this cycle that was my life was no longer my life, and so I could not cope with it whatsoever, because I was like basically like given freedom, and it confused me. It like sent me into like the sensory overload, and so I physically could see everything going on. And this is why I call Hollywood's BS, is because they make it look like you are in like this tacky movie flashback, you don't see anything around you, all that stuff. That's where I'm calling it out. I was where I was, and people could say stuff to me and it would kind of register, but my emotions and my brain was regulating my body as if I was in the old situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the only time I have ever known my brain to basically shut off, it's happened a few times. The last time it happened, it caused memory issues that I have began to recover from. I mean, you knew me around the time that where my memory basically got shot from the last big PTSD attack I ever had. I haven't had one this bad in a year now. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, almost 2 years. And basically, what'll happen is if I get triggered enough, if I get triggered a little bit, I'm fine. I freak out still, but it's like regulatory. I just need to leave somewhere. However, if I get triggered bad enough, basically this chick, I had these goldfish, like living goldfish, and this chick, just to spite me.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Just killed him in front of me, and it like caused a PTSD thing, which sounds stupid, but you know, PTSD works in weird ways.
It really doesn't sound stupid.
Anyways,
like that's a horrible thing to do.
And so, anyways, you hear people say that you're seeing red. It just kind of goes blank,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not in control of my mouth anymore, or like my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like I begin shaking because my body is, you know, 140 pounds and 5'6", so I, you know, am small, and so I have this insane amount of adrenaline going through me, and so I start shaking, and I don't have a filter anymore, so like I will say things. I like chewed this girl pretty much out, and it gets pretty bad, and so
so you just like kind of got really mad and set off.
Yeah, kind of. So there's a difference. So whenever people think like, oh, I got really mad and I like lost control.
Mm-hmm.
Could you hear that? Sorry.
No.
Somebody was stomping upstairs. So people think like, oh, I got really mad and set off. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's that. There's people typically getting ticked off, you know, and what ticks me off is when people are like, oh, well, that's the same as PTSD. No, there's people getting ticked off. Fine. Everybody gets ticked off. I get ticked off and it doesn't set off my PTSD. Whatever. Then there's getting ticked off with PTSD. That's a little bit higher if it's something PTSD related. And then there's PTSD attack. And literally, that is your brain shuts off and you go to this default. So every single day that I wake up, and it's been this way for 3 years, I have to convince myself that I am no longer in danger. It haunts me in my nightmares. I wake up freaked out. I wake up in a cold sweat. I forget. There's a million different things. Like I forget that I'm in a different state. And that's every day for the past 3 years. Well, what happens is when I no longer feel safe, I don't regulate it out. I flip back. And my default is to react how I was reacted at when I was younger. And then that's really bad. And so that is essentially, does that make sense? You like default back and you don't have control over it. And then I personally don't remember it.
You don't remember it? Okay.
I don't know if some people do.
So you default back to like, I guess if this situation happened while you were in that same mental state as the trauma, how you would have reacted then, as opposed to now when you're in the comfort of your new home and safe and gotcha.
Yeah. So
this is extremely fascinating to me, and now that I did like background research, like I understand what you're saying a lot more. That I still would have been like, what? Yeah.
No. So I mean, PTSD is super complex. I always talk to Caitlin, and we wanted to do an episode about like, I have a lot of mental health issues.
It's okay.
And most of them actually stem from PTSD. Like there's a chemical imbalance, but
I learned that when you have PTSD, it comes with other things, because how could it not? Yeah.
Yep. So it can cause, anyways, I don't think I've ever really gotten into my PTSD on 48-hour Artcheck or anything.
I don't think you've ever gotten into it with me.
No. To be honest. It's not because I'm ashamed, and I honestly don't mind talking about it. Like I had a whole mental health brand for a while. I still do enjoy talking about my mental health. I just think that sometimes people can abuse you and they don't intend to. And so whenever you go out on the internet and you bash them, it's unfair. If people have malintent, screw them, F them, peace
Don't watch
out.
this video, get out.
Yeah.
Bye.
But when parents abuse their kids.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of it is super messed up and stuff, but also like, I mean, they didn't have like the best of intentions, but in abusers' heads, whenever they're abusing their kids, they think that they are doing what is best to teach the kid what they think they need to be taught.
Yeah.
So, and that leaves permanent marks on people's heads.
Especially children.
Yeah, especially because it started when I was 10 and then I left when I was 18.
Yeah.
And so it started when my brother got kicked out because he was 16, I was 10. And then it just kind of chilled and it was kind of bad. And then I hit high school and it just like took off super bad. And then when I was 18, I was like kind of disowned, kind of left on my own volition, weird thing that I can't even comprehend. And I've talked to counselors about it and we're all confused on what happened. And it was just this whole weird thing. And so it's one of those things, and that's why I don't necessarily talk about it, because I never want to. Because you can hear like, oh, her parents did this. They're trash humans. My fiance hates my parents, like hates them. And
why? Because he loves you and they hurt something he loves?
No, I know. But also, like, I don't know. I mean, I've been told I have a really big heart for not hating them, but like I don't. I just feel like they were very misguided and they tried their best. And so anyways, that's why I never. Also, I feel like when I talk about having PTSD, people think I'm like playing a victim card, and I'm not. But
honestly, like, can I speak to that? Because I wouldn't have known unless you told me. Like, and also, like, I've literally never seen anything. Like, and in like movies and stuff, I feel like they make PTSD like define people and stuff. And like, then I like superimpose that with like Kayla, and I'm like, I literally would have never known. So like yeah, you're not because I wouldn't have known. And like, I think you at one point just told me, because it was like, how do I get through this conversation where I'm talking about X, where like this major part of me plays into why I did this or something, like, anyways. Yeah.
And so there's like some weird little things, and almost every professor that I have ever taken a class from, I let them know, hey, I have PTSD. The main reason I say this is because people have noticed on the show I wear hats. Emily, you know this, I think.
You have so, like you want hats. I don't know why, but you want
it's
hats.
Similar to like a security blanket. When I wear a hat, I can take it down and I don't have to make eye contact with people. Like whenever you look down regularly, like people can still see your eyes. When you're wearing a hat, it blocks it. And so whenever I feel intimidated or I'm about to have an anxiety attack or something, and I know that something's up, I wear a hat because then I can block. I can block eye contact with people essentially. And it was really bad when you and I first met. I think I was wearing hats like almost all the time.
I remember you telling me like, oh, like I wear hats. I don't remember how you said it, but it was definitely like, I knew that because of how you said it, it was tied to like a mental health thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I had never heard of that before. And so I was like, oh, like that, I guess it surprised me, but like literally that's like all I really knew for a really long time. Cause it's not like it ever got in the way of anything.
And the thing is too, I'm always open to people asking questions. You know, I have no issue teaching people. It's one of those things where like, I just never want to abuse my platform in a way that makes the people that abused me appear like they had malintent, because I'm just not the person where I want to paint hate on anybody. I had some conversations with Kerr. He has changed my Rogan and Kerr and Libert have changed my life to an extent that I don't think that they understand. Kerr had a conversation with me one time and he was like, how old are you? And I said, I was like 20 at the time. I think I was like 20. And he goes, you are acting like, your life is going to end tomorrow. He was like, I'm not even halfway done with my life, and you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I say something else?
What?
Because like it just clicked for me something based on what I know now. But like I remember you talking about why you had a bike instead of a car. And I was like, don't you like care about like not getting hit or, you know? And you were like, you said something to the effect of like, oh, it doesn't really matter. Like I don't really care if I get hit. And I was like, I don't understand that. I don't want to get hit. And so
I got into 2 crashes on my bike. It wasn't like when I say bike, it's not a motorcycle. It was like a cross between a moped and a motorcycle. It wasn't it went faster than a moped, but it was technically it was considered a motorcycle like in like the 80s. The bike is older than me.
Oh my god.
I gave it away. Oh yeah, no, it was a rough little thing. Anyways, I wrecked it twice. Neither time I was wearing a helmet. I was wearing hats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good thing I was wearing the hat because the hat brim hit the cement and bounced my head back up.
So you still have a nose because of the hat.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And so anyways, yeah, to that extent. When I was younger, when I was 13, I basically grew this mentality of I'm gonna die, I'm gonna kill myself. And I was in that mentality until I was 20. So 7 years. And it was just the only reason I'm still alive today is because I have an unhealthy fear of death. And so I'm so afraid of it that I attempted suicide once, and it was a very futile attempt. There was no way it actually would have worked. But it was like spur of the moment type thing. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't care about getting hit. I would run red lights. Like I just didn't care. This conversation with Kerr woke me up fast because nobody had ever called me out on it. Like type of thing. Everybody was kind of like, what the heck? But nobody just flat out
drop those like, hey, I made this extremely on point observation about you. Why do you do this? And then you have to be like, I don't
yeah. And he was like, I understand it's like tied to trauma and stuff, but like you gotta stop. Yeah. He's like, you're gonna run yourself into the you're not dying. Yeah. You know, like, and even if you are, like, you're gonna kill yourself with what you're trying to do.
You do it earlier.
Yeah. And so he just kind of snapped me out of it. And then once that happened, I stopped wearing hats as much and I stopped doing all this stuff because like I started to realize like, oh, I don't have to live in a constant PTSD attack.
Yeah.
What's that like? You know? And so I don't remember where I was going with that, but anyways, that conversation
where you were going with that.
That conversation like changed my life a lot. And nobody knows the full extent of what happened to me except for me. Like my fiance, I love him to death. I don't think he's ever going to know the full extent of what happened to me because I don't know how to verbalize it.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the pretty obvious, like, wow, this
is an obvious no, this obviously would have sucked. But then there's also like minor stuff that happens. Like, yeah, and as a kid, like kids are terrible at verbalizing anyways, right? Let alone interpreting.
When I moved out
and understanding what it is.
When I moved out, I was, you met me, how old was I you met me when I was 19.
You a little baby?
I was a little baby. You met me when I was 19, so 2 years ago. And at that point, I was emotionally stunted at 13.
Yeah.
And so I could not function at my age capability. My best friend, love her to death. She's been friends with me since I moved out of my parents' house and I came up here.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. I'm so fly. I never land.
Okay, anyways.
Anyways, no, so whenever I moved up here, it was we think I might be slightly on the autistic scale, but you can't tell because it's either I'm emotionally stunted or I'm slightly on the autistic scale.
Also,
Can't tell.
autistic women mask and the scale for what is considered autism was all based off of childhood boys.
Yep.
So
Anyways,
who knows who has autism when they're a woman? Anyways.
Yeah. So anyways, it's like a hypothetical. We're going to say I don't because I've never been diagnosed and I don't want to pretend like I have something that we don't know if I have. Anyways, really quick, people are talking in the chat.
They're going nuts.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people stuck around. Yeah, people always thinking that they know you're ill. It's a lot more yeah, it's a lot of the time more frustrating than the illness. Yeah, it ticks me off when people are like, I have PTSD too. Wow, we're so similar. No.
Which I watched a video and it was like stuff to not say to people who have PTSD, and I was like, people say that? Like, that's a thing that you get? Anyways.
I have heard, wow, I have PTSD too. Mm-hmm. We're so similar. And every time I want to look at people and I'm like, because there's different levels of PTSD. There's PTSD, which stems from one specific traumatic instance.
And then can I guess what you're about to say? CPST?
CPTSD.
Which is based off of it doesn't categorize as PTSD because it's not a singular traumatic event that's considered traumatic in this category, but it's over time, or it's just not one of those things and it's over. Yeah. And so it comes with a lot of the similar things, but it's not the same thing because you're not necessarily reliving one moment or something.
Yeah, it's CPTSD.
I learned this.
Yeah, complex PTSD, which is you hit the nail on the head. And so whenever I tell people that I have PTSD and then they say that they have PTSD, they assume that it's the same thing. And when I say, well, I have CPTSD, they're like, oh, me too. It's like, okay.
Okay, at that point they would. That's
what
like
do you
when
mean?
It's like,
and they're like, oh, I went through trauma for I had trauma for a week. Yeah, I was in a bad relationship for a week. If they have CPTSD from that, that's fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. Whenever people try to tell me, I have PTSD too, we're so similar. It's like, no. Yeah, never say that to somebody. If anybody ever comes up to me and they say, whoa, we have the same exact thing, I want to hit them every single time, just being straight up. I want to hit them because
I feel like at that point, if you actually knew really well that you also had PTSD, I think it would be a given that you know that other people who have PTSD don't have the same problem as you.
You have hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And that is exactly.
So that means that they don't actually know what PTSD even really is to start with.
Yeah.
So they don't have it.
Yeah. And it's just like yeah, exactly. It takes me off. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate having PTSD. Like, I'm just going to put it out there. But also because of this, I am so terrified of ever bragging or like bragging or and it's different than other people because other people are like, oh, I hate accepting compliments or I hate bragging. It's like, no, it literally makes me anxiety, but all the time. And so one thing that everybody has told me, counselors, psychiatrists, friends, family, etc., because I was traumatized, I have an extremely high IQ, wicked fast thinker, wicked fast at problem solving, all that stuff. Extremely high. My friends tell me that I am the dumbest smart person that they know. Social cues, I straight over my head. I don't get it.
That's pretty good. That's it.
But yeah, but problem solving, fantastic. When you're
Yeah.
manipulated for 8 years, you have to learn how to you're 10. The
Yeah.
people that are manipulating you are 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're 40. They're 40. The people that
Yeah.
are manipulating you, 30, 40, whatever. Out manipulate somebody at the age of 10,
No.
11, 12, 13, 14, up to 18.
Impossible. Even at 18, also impossible.
But I did it.
Really?
Mhm.
Wait, what? What?
We're gonna have to make this into a whole episode because I do have to like dip out.
I know. Yeah.
People in the chats, would you be interested if this was an actual like topic? Let me know, because if people are actually interested,
totally on your terms. By the way,
no. It's important to talk. Yeah, no, I'm completely fine about it. I just didn't know if people were gonna be like, "This is an art show. Why are you talking about mental health?"
Are you kidding me?
I know, but
you know how much we've talked about that's not art.
Anyways, oh heck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so when I was, this is gonna be one particular one, and everybody's gonna think like I'm hiding my face because like I don't want to be seen or like I'm about to cry. I'm not. I'm literally like there's like a spot on my laptop that I'm trying to like scratch off.
Yeah, this is like the full range of what we're supposed to have.
Full range of my camera.
We're cut off. That's why.
This doesn't show it. So yeah, anyways, no. Yeah, I'm literally like messing with stuff on my desk as I'm talking because ADHD. So when I was 13, when I was 13, I basically realized that about every 3 months I was getting in trouble and different things were being taken away from me, like my phone. And I was getting in trouble for stuff that I wasn't necessarily doing. I was doing it, but it was like, oh, you did this thing. And for like any other kid, it would be like, oh, you get like a slap on the wrist. Like, don't do that again. For me, it
like
was
you're not getting cut enough slack.
Yeah, I was getting cut absolutely no slack. So I to beat my parents at their own game, I figured out the timeline to of which I was getting in trouble. Yeah, I was 13, 14.
This is the power that you wield.
Yeah, no, people severely underestimate me. So
wow. I wish I had the power to outsmart. Wow. Okay. Because like a big thing for me is that like I feel like I don't have like emotional power over anything. You know what I mean? And so like you being like, no, yeah, parents, like.
Yeah, so
wild to me. I didn't think this was possible. I literally didn't think this was possible.
Oh yeah, anyway. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
do tell.
Frank, if you want to do an episode about mental health, I mean, just like Emily just said, you don't have to connect it to. Oh, sorry, I'll read it so you can leave it. You can leave it up there so you can read it. You don't have to connect it to art, I guess. Just talk about
whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your podcast.
Anyway, so I learned that I was getting in trouble every 3 months. So, and it wasn't exact, but it was 3 months. I would get in trouble. I would be in trouble. I would begin to repent from getting in trouble. Everything would go back to normal for a week. Next reason I was in trouble. So I got sick of it. I went to school, talked to my friends, and I said, hey, here's what's going on. I'm going to keep on getting in trouble. I'm not going to have a phone. I can't talk to anybody about what's going on. It's driving me nuts. I want to die because I can't talk to anybody. I'm stuck at home. My friends got me a phone, an iPhone, that we hooked up with my email so I could text everybody that had an iPhone. My friends gave me Netflix. I had a secret Instagram. I had all of these things. Secret phone that I used because I was getting in trouble for stupid crap all the time. And I got sick of it. So my friends brought me this thing, and I learned the Wi-Fi password to hook it up. I don't remember what it was at this point, but my parents were hiding it from me. I know that. And
smart friends.
Yeah. Wow. And eventually I got caught, and it was like super traumatic. I'm not going to get into it, at least on this episode, but super traumatic, like sleeping on a hardwood floor in a sleeping bag, like all this stuff.
That's
yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, it was super awful. But yeah, I got caught with this phone, and like I had this phone. Okay, well, that happened. Phone was gone. All this stuff. I just shut up. I just shut my mouth. Did whatever. It got to the point where when I was a senior in high school, I got in trouble. My parents found a journal that I wrote when I was like 15, 16. My parents found a journal that I wrote back then in my room. It was hidden in an obvious spot, which meant that I wanted them to read it. And so, yeah. So,
I know that if I roll my eyes specifically too hard, I give myself a headache, and I'm trying really hard not to.
Yeah, it was hidden in a specific spot. Anyways, I show up to the school. My parents I had marching band from like 8 to 12 and like 4 to 9 or something. My dad drops me off at like 7:30, and then they pick me up at 9, so I'm at the school all day. I walk in, everybody's like, what the heck, why are you early? What's going on? I said, oh, my parents took my phone and my keys and my car and all that stuff. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll have it all back by tomorrow. My parents don't want to be driving me places. Next day, drove myself to school.
Wow.
Because when you are in a state of constantly being manipulated, it is so, I mean, I say it's easy because for me, that's just how my brain works. For a lot of people, it's not. And I'm sorry if it wasn't for whoever has been in this situation. But for me, it was adaptation, survival of the fittest. And yeah.
And also, like, okay, this is super smart for you because, like, manipulators have patterns, and I would have never keyed in. The only reason why I know that is because of, like, podcasts I listen to. I would have never clued in. Like, I think I would have, if I were with the wrong people, been manipulated a lot, and I don't think I would have ever caught on. Like, I don't think I would have ever clicked for me that, there's this other life I could have lived happily or something, because I just,
I also
lied
my way from the ages of 10 to 18 to ensure that CPS was never called.
Yeah? Wait, why?
Because I had seen bad things about CPS on the news, and I understood that teenagers typically didn't get adopted, and I understood that siblings typically got separated, and my brother's 5 years younger than me. And I did not want to be separated from my brother.
I didn't want to deal with like that messy.
And also CPS will show up sometimes to abusive households, and then deem the parents fit, and then you go back and your life is
and you're stuck with them. Yeah.
Who now are more pissed at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so I just adults that caught concerned, I would just say, oh, it's this, or and I would just lie my way out of everything. Yeah. And now I can't lie about anything. I get super uncomfortable when I lie about stuff.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that's part of it. And for some reason, dear Lord, if my parents are actually watching this, we haven't spoken in 3 years. So if they ever decide to freaking watch this, sorry, I guess. I hope I didn't make you come across as evil. I don't know, but yeah, that's the whole thing. Anyways, this can be our next topic. I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah,
we can talk about.
I mean,
if people are interested and you are interested and you have questions and all that, I make a list of questions, and next Artcheck will just be.
I've honestly learned so much just now.
Yeah. Yeah, and anybody that's watching back, I don't get notified of comments sometimes that people comment on videos afterwards. So either post them in the chats, make sure that you're here on time or whatever, you're going to watch it live or whatever.
Message one of us.
That's what I was about to say. Message one of us. Our links are down below. Message Emily, message me, whatever. If you have questions that you would like answered about PTSD, I have no problem being a guinea pig, being a sounding board, answering questions. Even if you think that it's a stupid question, it's not. Nobody understands PTSD. And everybody thinks that PTSD only relates to soldiers. It does not. So, and you typically won't find somebody very willing to talk about their PTSD like this. So, anyways, that's it. My I need water. I have been talking for too long.
We almost doubled the amount of time that we're normally here.
Yeah.
So.
And next week we can. Next week I'll bring water.
I've honestly,
or next episode.
I had this hunger to know more, and I'm full. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned so much.
Yeah.
But I'm still down to. I mean, people want to hear more. Like, totally down. So.
Yeah. No, I'm totally. So long as, and like I said, I just don't talk about it because I feel like people are going to be like, "You're talking about mental health." No,
I never ask because I don't want to upset somebody. You know what I mean? I've never asked you because I don't want to re-trigger / make you, because if I had to talk about stuff that upset me, it would re-upset me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I actually next week remind me to talk about EMDR. It's one of the very few treatments for PTSD. I'm doing it.
I learned about this.
I'm doing it.
I learned about this. Okay. I was like, they were like, one of the treatments is this. And I was like, I feel like Kayla told me about this. So I feel so proud that I researched, and I guess I found credible research. I don't know why I'm proud that I learned.
I mean, there's so much crap out there about it. People who don't know what they're talking about stuff like they know they're talking about it. And anyways, cool. If you want an understanding of PTSD that is related to Marvel, Iron Man 3 is fantastic. They never flat out say that he has PTSD. He does have severe adrenaline and anxiety spikes. I think it's a fantastic movie. Obviously, it's distracted by Marvel stuff, but a subplot is him dealing with this. And he doesn't sleep for 36 hours at a time. He's super distressed, all this stuff. That movie, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Other than that, my throat is super dry.
Okay.
So, Thursday, we will discuss PTSD. Everybody bring questions, 7:30 p.m. And we will go until the questions have been answered. So, if that's an hour, then okay. If it's 2 hours, whatever. But I'm good to talk. I'm good to talk for however long people are willing to listen.
Cool.
All right. With that all being said, I'll show this one more time. If you want to submit questions for next time, send us a message on one of these. Don't send it to me on Twitter. I don't know how to Twitter. So message me on Instagram.
Do you know there's DMs?
Is there Twitter? DMs on Twitter?
Yeah, and it's a little envelope, and it'll be a specific conversation that's private.
Look, I have my little Marvel.
That's so cute.
Thanks.
Yeah, if somebody engages with you via DM, you'll be able to reply back easily. Yeah.
Oh, Frank and I used this in March of last year.
You're like, I've done this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can send me a message on Twitter.
For the sake of not confusing other our following and / for the sake of potential needing to keep things private, just DM.
Send me a DM on anything. This is my name. So find me.
Yeah.
Anyways, bye.
Bye.